What's going on, people? What's going on? I was going to talk about something else totally different today, but with the light of just different things that are going on in my life and the people around me, I just had to take time out to talk about those we lost, and definitely thoughts and prayers and condolences to the families of those that have lost people due to COVID-19 or any other reason. It's it's not easy, and the reason I say this is because I've had coworkers recently who are former co-workers who have lost both of their parents. People have lost fathers, people have lost mothers. I have friends that have died. This is real. This is serious. This is not a this is not a pretend thing. I don't know what your politics are. I don't know if you're Democrat. I don't know if you're Republican. I don't know if you're apolitical. This is a time where it's beyond that. And again, like I said, my thoughts and prayers. I've lost, family member. It's not easy. And I just wanted to take a moment, to remember those folks. Let me just, if anything, I just have a moment of silence, right quick. Yeah, but it's not easy sometimes dealing with loss, and even as it affects other people, it can get to you sometimes. When you find out that two or three of your coworkers have lost parents in one day, it makes you want to, you know, hold your people more close. Call your family members, those that you love. Appreciate the people that you're around, even if they annoy you a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. Don't let it get you down. That you stuck inside, because at least a lot of people still have their parents. They still have their loved ones. They still have those folks that they hold dear. Be mindful if you have your parents. Be mindful if you have those folks that you care about that are still there with you, because there are people who don't. There are people who never see their parents again. They'll never see their children again. They'll never see their loved ones again. Regardless of what you think about this, I'll say that. Regardless of what you think about this whole coronavirus thing, I'm not saying you have to care. You could look at it as a hoax. You could look at it as a plot to take Trump down. Thank you. I thank you for cargo. You could look at it as a plot to take Trump down, but this is bigger than politics right now, because here in New York, I can tell you personally, people are dying. And I'm fighting back tears myself right now, because I have friends, I have family members, I have people who died. So I don't know what to make of this whole coronavirus. I can't tell you whether it's totally real, or if it's something else, or if it's the pneumonia, or if it's SARS, or if it's H1N1. When people are dying and it starts affecting you and people that you know, that you love and you care about, you don't care what it is. I don't care if it's the common cold. I know people are dying, and like I said, thoughts and prayers to those we lost. Thoughts and prayers to those, that are struggling, with with dealing with death, with dealing with this. I mean, I know this is not an easy conversation to have. It's not an easy live stream and stuff like that to listen to. But the reality is, imagine, just like you may not want to talk about this, there's people that actually have to deal with the reality of what I'm talking about. Drone worship, do you think COVID-19 will affect Zion? I don't think the machines to win the war. I don't know, drone worship. All I know is I have family members and friends who are dead. I have people calling me talking about their father died and their mother died and all this stuff in the same thing. What do you comfort people with? It's like I was saying to somebody, it gets complicated. What do you say to somebody that has lost their mother and their father in the same day? What do you say? I don't know. I don't know. What do you comfort a person with? I mean, I could read a Bible scripture to you. I could pray with you. I could say it's gonna be all right, it's okay, but what is that going to mean to anybody when they've lost the pillars of their family? And it reminds me of a story on CNN, I think with Chris Cuomo, before he caught the COVID-19. He was talking to a New Jersey family who had lost four family members in one day. They lost a mother, a daughter, a brother, and somebody else. So this is a devastating thing. This is not a game. This is not play. This is not something that we could ignore. This is not fake news. There isn't anything that you could say in a situation that will make it better, but listening is so important. Yes, Cargo, listening is important. So we try to be there as much as we can. If you have family members, if you have friends, if you have people that are affected by COVID-19, be sympathetic towards them, regardless of what you feel. Like I said, right now, this isn't about the politics. I'm here in New York, one of the places that's the quote unquote epicenter of all that's going on with, COVID-19. This is not a game. This is not a game. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of New Yorkers that was said in the beginning that are not gonna make it out. There's a lot of New Yorkers that are still dying. There's people in the hundreds that are passing away. There are folks that are being devastated. Whole families are being devastated. It's like I was having a conversation with my mother the other night. Sometimes we don't take it serious until it affects us, until it gets into our world, our sphere. It shouldn't have to be a situation where it begins to affect you personally. Death has a way of changing things. Death has a way of reminding you of what's important. Death can ravage a family, can transform and change things in so many drastic ways. And it's important to try to find normalcy. It's important to look at grief and see it for what it is, yes. And to try to find some semblance of normal and push past and get towards, a situation where you see the light at the end of the tunnel or brighter days. It is definitely important to try to do so. It's hard, it's challenging at times, because who wants to just move on and go on like, everything is normal when things have changed? Things have drastically changed. Think about it. Everybody wants to go back to a new normal. Everybody wants to open up economy. Everybody wants to get back to, just getting out of the house and cabin fever. But what do you say to the person that has lost their mother and father in the same day, or lost a loved one, or lost a child? How do they get back to normal? How do they just go back to things as usual, business as usual? And I think a lot of times we as people, we take that for granted. What's going on, Yas Poet? You have a blessed day as well. As people, many people that have experienced loss, it's not an easy thing to deal with, to lose anything. Sometimes just losing a job can be stressful. Losing a relationship or something like that. But that pales in comparison to actually losing somebody that you care about, because you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. You just try to put one foot in front of the other. You just try to, stop from crying. Sometimes you just try to stop from crying because it hurts so much. There's many things that people experience. Loss is not easy. It's really not easy. Yeah, you take it one day at a time. I know you've been there. Condolences to you, Yas Poet. I know you have family members that have passed away, and it's not easy. Especially when this COVID-19, you have people who are experiencing that at a more rapid rate. Imagine you lose your whole family in the same day, or you lose half of your family in the same day for a disease that you don't even know if it's real or not. You don't even understand the politics behind it. I mean, I could go real deep on you. If you want to get real deep, in my neighborhood, they still haven't done any testing for COVID-19. Hasn't near person been tested unless you're going outside the neighborhood. Unless you have serious symptoms, they haven't tested people for COVID-19. But certain communities are being affected by it. And I'll go deeper for you. There are places that are being gentrified right now, that are being rebuilt up, that are being redlined. Banks are being closed. Supermarkets are being closed. Things are happening. But coincidentally, these same places don't have an abundance of testing, and people are dying at more rapid rates in poor and lower income neighborhoods. But we're not going to talk about that. That's a whole other conversation in itself. I'm not here to get political about it or try to take it to another place. But it's just a coincidence how that coincides with different things like that. So, you know, I'm just saying. And like I said, it's unfortunate, regardless of which side you land on this whole issue, whether you believe this is real or it's not. One thing I know that's real are the deaths. The deaths are real. Maybe the circumstances surrounding this whole thing, what's going on, where the resources are being deployed, how people are gathering this in or taking this in. You can debate that. You can go where you want to go with that. But I know the deaths are real. I know there's people whose lives are being totally changed forever by this whole thing. There are people that can't go back to normal. That's the reality. When you experience loss, when you experience death, you have to find a new normal. You have to find a way to move on. You have to find a greater purpose. You have to find a reason to live. Maybe you got some kids. Maybe you got a wife. Maybe you got family members and friends that still need you to be strong. It's not easy to be strong when you had the people that were being there for you so many years. I can't go into the details of the people that have passed away, but there's some people going through it right now. There's messages on my phone. There's questions that are being asked. There's things that I can't answer. There's things that I don't know. I have to call my mother and call my father and call my family members and make sure they're okay. Got to call them all. Got to call them all. Yeah. I may find myself calling them all, just even the ones that I ain't speak to in a while, it's real. It's real like that. People are dying out here. This is something, don't take this for granted. Regardless of how you feel about COVID-19, regardless of where your thoughts stand on it, it's rough. It's rough to have to really to even think about that. And then you think about it, say, well, what if it was you? What if I had to deal with that? I feel the real normal is way beyond man's philosophy. Well, yeah, that could be a case too if we ask poet. I mean, when it comes to man philosophy, Yas Poet, there's so many flaws in that as it stands. Sometimes we ain't even being philosophical about it. Some people feel like, okay, if that's not affecting me, then that's not affecting me. What's up, Eagle VP? Greetings to you from the UK. Appreciate you for coming through. But like I said, this whole COVID-19, regardless of how you feel about it, it's a real thing. I mean, I could sit here and I could be with the conspiracy theorists all day. I could say this is a conspiracy theory to take down Trump, to take down Boris, to take down whoever, but the reality is, what do you say to the people that are really affected by it on a ground level, on a granular level, on a real minuscule, low level? How do you tell people this isn't real? And I say this for all you folks out there that may not be taking this serious. Come to New York. For anybody that don't take this seriously, come to New York. See the deaths. See the messages that are scrolling across my phone now as we speak. Come walk through the neighborhoods with me, and I'll show you how real this is. Come to the hospitals here in New York City and find out how real this thing is. You'll see. You'll see how fake it is. People saying this is fake news. It's not fake news. I know real people that have passed away. I know real people that have died. I know real people that are being affected. What do you say to a person? How do you cope? What's going on, Detox Diva? Appreciate you for coming through. Greetings to you from your neck of the woods. It's a real situation. Like I said, just my thoughts and prayers and condolences to the families of people that have lost folks. It's not easy. While everybody is arguing over who's going to get a stimulus check and who's going to open what economy and who's recovering from what, how do you recover when you've lost your family members? I don't even know if I would be able to speak or be on if I've lost my mother and father in the same day. I've lost so many people back home. Yeah, it's like that, Detox Diva. People don't realize, how serious this is, regardless of what it is. I mean, let's say it's not coronavirus. Let's say it's the regular flu. Let's say it's some other disease. Let's say there is some conspiracy behind this. Let's say that, just to put that argument on the table, just to push that argument out of frame. People are dying. Let's say the politics are what they are. Put the politics on the table, just to push it out of frame. People are sick. Let's say there's economic issues. People worried about their rent, they're worried about their food. This, Tyson, they said the company, a chicken company, saying the supply chain is messed up. There's so much going on. Hold on, I actually got a call. Sorry about that. Hold on. Real life. Yeah, hello.
Warranty notice in the mail, letting you know that the warranty on your vehicle has expired.
Telemarketing. Anyway, telemarketing aside, things is going on. Yeah, no, Yas Poet, do what you got to do. Appreciate you. All these issues, all the stuff that's going on aside, people are still being affected in real ways. How do you tell those people that this is not real? How do you tell those people that this is not significant? You don't. You pray for them. You try to be there, like Cargo said. You listen. You try to understand as much as you can. Some of us will never understand until you experience what folks experience. Until you've actually sat under the ventilator. Most people, they're not telling you about the ventilator, how they treat this thing. You have to be into an induced coma before you can actually get under the ventilator so they could try to clear the mucus out of your system. The ventilator is helping you breathe because the mucus inside of your lungs is actually blocking and preventing you from breathing. People don't understand how serious and real that is. People being treated with HIV drugs, and there's other drugs being repurposed and treated and stuff like that. All the stuff that people may not want to get into. And I say all that to say that this is real. This is not a fake situation. This is not, maybe the numbers are skewed. Maybe the numbers are being, highly reported than normal. I don't know. But I say all this to say, like, not to get too long-winded on folks, because I know people got things to do, is appreciate your loved ones. Even the ones that you don't get along with. Appreciate the things that you do have. Don't take for granted what's in front of you. Don't take for granted that you got lights and running water and you got money in your pocket and you got clothes on your back. Don't take for granted that you have health if you're able to even, breathe properly or do what you do, to wake up. You woke up this day. Don't take these things for granted. Sometimes people take these things for granted and they look at it, oh, well, it's just a conspiracy theory. It's just the media. It's just this one. It's just that one. It's just this. Yeah. But what happens if it's not? What happens if it's actually serious and it knocks on your doorstep? What do you do then? How do you ignore it then? Sometimes it shouldn't have to be a situation where it has to hit close to home for us to take it serious. Right now, as I speak, there's a lot of people that are not adhering to the social distancing. There are people that are not wearing the PPE, the personal protective equipment. There are people that are taking this for a joke. There are people that had to be forced to actually, distance from each other. There are people that are not looking at it as it's just that serious. It's not serious until somebody winds up in a casket. And I don't like to talk like that, but it is that type of situation, And also, too, again, to the people that have lost, my condolences, my thoughts, my prayers, go out to you in this tough, troubling times, because it's not easy. It's not easy to lose loved ones. It's not easy to even be able to mourn properly because, of the situations that's going on with funerals and stuff like that. It's not a quick journey. It's a long journey back to, what we may call normal, what some semblance of normal would be. It's rough. It's rough. And I try to be considerate of that. I try to be cognizant of that because, for all of us that are able to go along and do business as usual, we sometimes don't see it. We sometimes don't get it. I'm not going to sit there and act like I understand and I get it all. Like even with the family member that I lost, to be honest, with full disclosure, it was a family member that I wasn't as close to, but I still felt it because I'm good with my cousins. So you don't know. You don't know until it hits home, because I would be distraught. I would be totally out of it. I don't know how I would react. I don't know. I don't know if I would be able to go on and just continue on and get into it. I don't know where my mindset would be. I don't know. How do you work that out? Sometimes there's nothing you can say. What do you say to a person that loses their loved ones like that? What do you say to a person whose whole world is shattered, who's broken, who's beat down, who's defeated, who feels distraught? What do you say to that person? I mean, you try to be there. Sometimes all you can do is listen. And I'm around for those folks that need somebody to listen. I'm definitely going to pray for those people that have lost. I definitely feel your pain, as much as I can, because I've lost family members as well and friends as well. But sometimes some things hit so close to home that it takes a time. It takes a while. It'll take you a little bit longer than usual. When everybody's going back to normal, when everybody's hugging their family and dealing with their loved ones and being around for the people that was there for them for so many years, sometimes you look over and you don't see that person. I've experienced that in 2015 with my grandmother. She passed away. It's just not the same looking over at the couch and not seeing her there no more, not hearing the stories of old, not having somebody that was there for you like that. So appreciate these people. Give people their roses, their flowers while they're alive. Don't wait till a person to die. Don't wait for a person to go down for you to start to appreciate them. There's so much beauty in the people that we have around us. There's so much to be gained. There's so much to be gathered from appreciating those folks that we may not think about as much. Love the people that you have around you, whether they see eye to eye with you or not, whether you always get along, whether you really care about each other's interests or politics. remember, those people help make you who you are. They help shape your world. They help get you to where you need to be. You know. And on that note, like I said, again, my thoughts and prayers, my condolences to the folks that have lost. Um, it's rough, but this too shall pass, and we will get through it together. Thank you for listening.